I call to order this meeting of the Pasadena Independent School District Board of Trustees in regular session on Tuesday, August 26, 2025, in the boardroom of the Administration Building at 3920 McGilly Boulevard, Pasadena, Texas, at 5:30 p.m. Board members present are Marshall Kendrick, Nelda Sullivan, Joe Campos, Paola Gonzalez, and me, Kenny Fernandez. Board members absent are Casey Phelan and Crystal Davila. Let the records indicate that a quorum of board members is present, that this meeting is duly called, and notice of this meeting was posted in accordance with the Texas Open Meeting Act, Texas Government Code, Chapter 551. Our invocation today will be given by Nelda Sullivan, and our pledges will be led by Paola Gonzalez. If you could, stand with me for invocation and pledges.
Would you bow with me, please? Our most gracious Heavenly Father, we thank Thee for the many blessings that You've bestowed upon us as individuals and in our school district. As we start this new year, we ask that You would be with our leaders, give them the wisdom and the knowledge and patience to deal with those unusual situations. We pray that You would be with the service organizations of our country, lead, guide, and direct them as they protect us on a daily basis. We ask that You would be with us for the further service of this meeting. Lead and guide and direct us and keep us ever in the center of Thy will. These things we ask in Thy name. Amen.
Amen.
Flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Texas flag. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to Thee, Texas, one state under God, one and indivisible.
Thank you. That moves us to public comment according to BED Local related to items and open session portion of this agenda. There are no public comments. Policy update, presentation by General Counsel.
Good afternoon. We only have one policy today, so that's good news. Usually we have a few to go on. But today we're going to talk about EFB Local, which is an Instructional Resources Library Materials Policy. And this is a new policy that is effective September 1st, 2025. So we're bringing this to you today for consideration. And Senate Bill 13 restructures how school districts acquire, review, and challenge library materials, emphasizing parental rights, community values, and content restrictions. This law also changes how library materials are acquired and challenged. So it's if you recall, last year we had a revision to EFB Local. So we made several revisions. Some of those were related to the board's participation regarding how appeals are done, ensuring that the board had notice when grievances were filed. So what happened with this legislative session, and you'll see there's no red lines because the previous policy was basically completely deleted, and this is a brand new policy. Although some of the similar revisions are included, and some of the items that were addressed in the previous policy concerning parental involvement and access for parents are still included. So what I'm going to do is you should have a copy of that in your board, but I'm going to go over what I consider to be some of the more changes that were made by the bill. So if we talked about responsibility, in this policy, the superintendent shall develop administrative procedures to ensure that library collection complies with applicable policy, library standards, and the district's collection purposes and goals. So if you go through the policy, you'll see where we're going to look at the section on recommendations, and procurement of materials. So initially, the way the process is set to begin is library materials will be recommended in accordance with the guidelines by the Texas State Library and Archives Commission. Then librarians and other professional staff shall develop recommendations to be presented to the board. Once those recommendations are presented, this policy will ensure that now the board will have the final approval on what board books will be acquired. This is a change from the previous policy. So if you look at this section where it talks about the board responsibilities, at this point, the board shall consider a list of library materials that have been donated or proposed by administration for procurement purposes. So as we talked about, librarians and other professionals of the district will propose a list for the board for consideration. Each board member may propose changes before the board takes action on the list that is donated or proposed for procurement. So each board member has the opportunity to make changes to the list. At least 30 days before the board votes to accept donated materials or approve procurement for library services, the superintendent shall make accessible to the board the list. The district shall allow parental access to the district's library list and allow at least 30 days before the board votes to accept the donated library material. So this is a way that parental involvement or community involvement can participate in the process of procuring the books. So another important aspect of the policy is the access plan. This was previously in the older policy, but basically this is a plan where we want to ensure that the parents, guardians have the ability to see our libraries, online catalogs, and we're setting up administrative processes so that we can make those available. Again, with the intent that there is sufficient parental involvement. I do have members from our IT department and other staff members that have been really working diligently to make sure that we have all our procedures in place. Some of it is going to be via electronic means where parents can go on our website and access the materials. So we have been working on that together. I know Melissa has been leading that group along with Jeremy, and it's been a pretty big group effort. So we are very much ensuring that parents have sufficient parental access. Now, we talked about this previously. There is a process for parents to challenge board books. So it begins with an informal process. And in the informal process, it is appropriate librarian or administrator shall try to resolve any disputes that the community or parents, or actually that parents may have with a particular board book. So it will start with an informal let's call it informal challenge, but really just a question about the books. And so we try to work and try to resolve at the lowest level. If we're unable to resolve it, then it would go into a formal challenge. So it is like the grievance process, different steps to challenge the book. When it goes into the formal challenge process, the Director of Library Services shall appoint a committee, and the committee of committee members will review the information and determine if this is a challenge that will determine how the challenge will be finalized. At that point, once the committee has reviewed it, taken into consideration the information in the formal contest to the policy, then there is a process where an individual who is not satisfied can appeal. As you see here, a challenge to the board. The individual must provide notice of the appeal in accordance with administrative procedures. So there is going to be a process for that to happen. And then as the policy goes on, it talks about gifts and donations. And again, the policy will be reviewed every 3 years, but can be reviewed as necessary. So there's a lot to it, but this is the try to hit the highlights on it. And again, we have staff available if you have any questions.
Ms. Sullivan has a question.
108, where we're to notify the public. That everyone in our district, how are we going to do this?
Yeah, Melissa has a plan for that. I want to let her go ahead and come on up and share that with you. We've discussed this on how we're going to get this rolled out to make sure that our community knows how they can go through this process.
Thank you, Dr. Lopez. The team's been working really hard, Mrs. Sullivan, to build a website that when items are submitted for purchase from campus, that will be proposed out to the public on the site, a notification sent out, at least to our students and parents. And they will have the opportunity to fill out a form giving feedback on the items that are listed along with the policy. And so there's different rules about how we adopt a book or purchase a book, and they'll be able to give feedback about that. And then our libraries and instructional materials staff will take all their feedback, compile it, and write a report for you when they present the books to be able to be purchased, so that you'll have that information ahead of time. And we'll post that for 30 days before we compile the information and then present it to you at the next board meeting for approval.
We also plan to use, I'm sorry, Mrs. Sullivan, go ahead.
Is that going to be library books that we get every year that goes to our school library?
Yes, ma'am. It is actually applicable to any book that we purchase, any book that's donated, including through our mini grants and the Education Foundation and Donors Choose.
How much money did the state allocate for the program into grants?
This would fall under the category of unfunded mandate. 0.
So I do want to reiterate here that we do have several parent committees that we already have established, whether that is our SHAC committee, our parent advisory group, and then of course we also have parent representation on our DEC, and we will have library information on those agendas so that we can share out that way as well, not just on the website. So we're going to try to get the word out in several different ways.
So another item that we have forthcoming, I read in the paper this week that there's a bill up which we need to talk about, that we have to furnish every taxpayer in our community a notice of taxes for the school district. That would be a monumental expense. Is it still on the docket?
Is this for the library?
No.
No, it's not. Yes, we can discuss that, and I can already tell you Dr. Alford Stevens stood up because she already has a plan for that, so I will get with you about what that plan is.
Okay, thank you.
I do have a question on this challenge committee. Is that just Pasadena employees?
So the Challenge Committee, usually how we have done that, and of course we're going to set that up through our regulation approved by Dr. Lopez, but I imagine that it would follow similar to the past where we want to include a parent representative, maybe the community representative for that campus, as well as librarians and a teacher. So that will come though through regulation making if you were to approve this policy.
Okay.
Thank you for all your help on it.
No, thank you. It's been a great team effort.
I will say they've worked very, very hard on it, and I'm very proud of where we landed. It's lots of discussions because we know this is important to our students to have library books in their hands, but we know it's important to our community too. So I commend everyone who worked on it.
Thank you.
And Ms. Sullivan, just to follow up on your question about the other policy, so this policy is effective September 1st, 2025, so we did try to prioritize the ones that we did earlier in the summer and this one. Once we get to those three big policies that we've already approved, we will be bringing the rest of the policies to you and, again, providing you information so that, you can see what the policy's about. If you need any help, we'd be happy to provide you additional information. But those are all coming, so we are going to have a busy season of policy recommendations coming up. You're welcome.
Any other questions? All right, we're going to adjourn to closed session pursuant to Texas Government Code Section 551.071, 551.072, and 551.074. We convene an open session at 7 p.m. Special recognition.
Yes, we have Mr. Fornoff, who's going to be coming up and introducing our special recognition.
Thank you, Dr. Lopez. Board members. On June 25th, 2024, the board approved an agreement with Direct Energy Business, LLC, for a voluntary responsive economic dispatch program. It's called RED, and that is to reduce energy consumption. The RED program enables PISD to participate in receiving revenue for voluntarily reducing its electricity consumption during the summer season and other special RED events. After completion of the 2024 Summer Red program, PISD has earned a rebate credit of $25,593. With an increased voluntary load, our commitment of $5,000 now, we're anticipating even greater revenue in the future. So at this time, I'd like to introduce our Direct Energy Account Executive, Ms. Jennifer Lovrick, and Manager of Education Partnerships, Ms. Erin Sheets. And we also have our TASB Energy Cooperative representatives here with us tonight, Mr. Adrian Porres and Mr. Rich Vela.
And the TASB Energy Cooperative? $25,000.
That was fun. Okay, that moves to the consent agenda. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Motion by Ms. Sullivan, seconded by Mr. Kendrick. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. This now brings us to our personnel section. Consideration and possible approval of the administrative personnel. Do we have a motion?
Mr. President, I move that we approve Addendum A of the Personnel Administrative section.
Motion by Ms. Sullivan, seconded by Ms. Gonzalez. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Miss Marilyn Tristan, would you please stand? Congratulations. Mr. Stand has been approved for the position of Curriculum and Instruction Reading Academy Specialist for academic achievement for the remainder of the 25-26 school year. Congratulations. And do you have family with you?
I do. But I also have my work.
Congratulations.
Well, we want to thank you for being an appointed team member. And if you want, you could stay for the rest of the meeting, or you can step out now and take your pictures in the lobby. We thank you. Yeah. Okay, moving right along. Consideration and possible approval of the on-site clinic CSP number 26P-002 LP to award to the contract to H2U Wellness Center, Pasadena, PISD, PLLC. The estimated cost for 2026 will be $922,073.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Ms. Sullivan, second by Ms. Gonzalez. Any discussion?
Board members, I would just like to iterate to you guys that this clinic continues to be heavily used by our employees. We have about 600 employees a month that utilize those services, and many people, probably some of you sitting out here in the audience, use Dr. Hurtado as your primary care physician. I see a lot of nods and smiles. He does a great job, and so we just wanted to say that this has been a valuable piece to our school district to help us to recruit and retain teachers, and we're grateful for it.
And two, we might recognize that this is a part of HCA Hospital Corporation.
Yes, ma'am, it is, right here in our own community.
All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Consideration and possible approval of the change to the 2026 self-funded medical plan for the overall increase to the health fund by approximately $3,560,000.
So moved. For second.
Okay. Motion by Mr. Kendrick, seconded by Ms. Sullivan. Any discussion?
So, board members, I'd like to share on this too. As you guys are aware, our health plan continues to operate at a deficit due to rising costs, healthcare costs, and of course inflation. We all know how that's been, and so the health committee the insurance committee did come together and recommend these increases to premiums. But just want to also remind employees that we do have free options, such as going to the wellness clinic for our employees. But we're trying to offset that deficit that we've had in the previous years to keep our plan marketable and so that we can continue to be self-funded.
All right. Did we vote on that?
No.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Update to employee benefits with hospital indemnity plan for information only. Certified personnel for 2025-2026 school year for information only, and support personnel for 2025-2026 school year for information only. We now move to the education section, emergency management spotlight presentation by Derek Duckett.
I believe we're going to have Chief McMahon go first this evening for you guys. they team up together all the time, so this is not unusual for them to team up.
Go team. Thank you, Board, for allowing us to speak tonight for the 2025 safety. The month of August has been deemed safety and security, so we are presenting tonight, and I want to share with you, for the Board spotlight, our different departments. The Pasadena ISD Police Department, our motto in-house is protecting our future. That is something that we came up with in-house with our department as our driving force of what we're trying to do. How does the Pasadena ISD Police Department implement a district's safety and security plan? Originally, before I had great exposure to the district strategic plan, I always relied on the fact that safety and security was foundational for us to have a strategic plan to be effective. With that being said, it has a lot to do with tying our core beliefs with that strategic plan of excellence, opportunity, and experience. Our vision is to provide professional police services, which meets our strive for excellence. Our opportunity is, with our mission statement, the opportunity to create a safe environment for teachers and for them to feel safe to teach and for students to be able to learn effectively. And then our culture, experienced police response so that we are handling people professionally and with respect. One of the things that was asked was, how can the police department implement the district safety strategy? And the answer for me was that my department values line up with the district strategy. The excellence in police services, the opportunity to create a safe environment for our teachers and our students, and that calls of service and the people that we deal with on a day-to-day basis are dealt with not only a safety focus, but a customer service focus to where they feel like they're being respected and heard. This is some pictures, some of my favorite pictures of my guys and girls in the field. Actually, this is all guys. But during the snow days when the kids didn't show up for school, my guys continued to patrol and try to take really good pictures for our communications department so that they could see how the snow covered our schools and stuff like that. The second picture is Damon Saunier, who is one of my sergeants. He is very instrumental in our public outreach in our community and being involved in our community. If you follow our Facebook page, our department Facebook page, he posts very frequently on the things that my officers are doing in the field and then the interactions that we have with the community and the students. Jimmy Trevino is this third picture. I don't have a laser, this guy. Jimmy Trevino is a graduate of Pasadena. He was I believe, Southeastern High School in Dobie.
No.
Dobie, I'm sorry, he was Dobie.
Yes.
I apologize for that. He is a graduate. He came up through our school system. He's an amazing kid, absolutely amazing kid. I am fortunate that I have an outstanding team that works with me. In the top right-hand corner, that is Chris Jackson. He went to one of our I think it was a banquet, and this young man was having an issue tying his tie, so he helped him tie his tie. The center picture on the far right is two of my sergeants at the hospitality suites for the Texas Invitational, and at the bottom is a very recent picture that was given to me that had Mr. Kendrick, along with two of our officers that were in the field. With modern policing, there's 9 principles that were developed by Sir Robert Peel, and if you can see from this Venn diagram, how those principles fit within the scope of those 3 driving forces of excellence, opportunity, and experience. Obviously, subgroups of that is the customer service, the training and the leadership, and all of that revolves around the trust that we have within our organization. So I am honored to be able to present here tonight, and thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chief.
And now, Mr. Derek Duckett.
Good evening, and thank you everybody for having me again this evening. My name is Derek Duckett. I'm the Emergency Management and Safety Director for the district, and you may be wondering, how are you different from the police? So pretty much you take safety and security, everything but the law enforcement side kind of falls on the emergency management side. So from the preparedness, the prevention, mitigation, response, and recovery, we do get to work hand in hand with Chief McMahon's crew, and let me just take a second to brag on them for a second. So I think Chief took over going on 2 years now, and I can tell you, because I work hand in hand with them every day, the morale of that group has greatly improved. The responsiveness, how engaged his officers are, is just an amazing accomplishment to him and to his entire staff of what they've been able to do. And I know it's recognized across the district from our parents and our staff and our students. So kudos to them. My staff is a little bit smaller than Bill's. I recognize them. The morale hasn't gone up quite as much in my department as theirs. You'll see us, we're working hard there, coming up with different ways to protect the district. So I'm hoping someday to double the size of my department, maybe, when the funding is there. But until then, I do have a great team that I work with here in the district that's not directly on my team, but all of our departments work really well together. So that's just a little joke, I'm sorry. So as Chief McMahon kind of touched on, safety drives success. So our students can't begin to learn, our teachers can't begin to teach until they feel safe and secure in their environment. So improves their academic performance, their mental health, stronger social connections they're making, taking the phones away, I think is going to be a big part of that, and just engaging them to talk to each other again. We have reduced behavioral issues when we have kids that feel safe and secure. So the last time I was here in January, I kind of went over the big highlights of all of my departments. So tonight I figured I would just kind of touch on two of the things that we do to help our students and staff feel safe. And what these two things are is the way for them to communicate with us when they see something they don't feel safe with. So the first one I'm going to touch on is our anonymous alerting system. So this is a tool that we use. It's open to the community, to our staff, and to our students to let us know when they see something on a campus or going on even online that makes them uncomfortable, that they can report it to a trusted adult without having to reveal who they are. So you can see we've had over 500 reports this past year. It's heavily used. It allows us a two-way communication back and forth with those students. So when they report something, instead of just receiving the information and trying to fill in the blanks, we can actually ask them for more information and they still remain anonymous. So that's a nice tool that we have with that. When I talked about our whole district kind of works hand in hand together from all the different departments, it's highlighted here when you see that who all receives it. So a report comes in for a specific campus. So obviously the campus principal and the assistant principals get it, but it also goes to most of our whole executive cabinet staff. So the police are getting it, I'm getting it, the superintendent herself wants to get it, the associate superintendents are receiving it. So it is a all hands on deck. Anytime we get an alert, that we take that very seriously so it's not missed and it's handled appropriately. So there's nobody kind of saying, oh, I never saw that happen. We all saw it and we all handle it. So that's a good group effort that we have there. So there's multiple different ways that our kids can do this. As I mentioned just a minute ago, we had the whole cell phone policy just changed recently. So having them scan the QR code and download the app is a little bit difficult on campus. So the other way that they can report to us is on every one of our campus homepages, and the Pasadena ISD main website on the front page of that, anonymous alerts is right at the top. So they can click on that button from their one-to-one devices that they were given, and they can report to us at all times of the day, and somebody will get back to them to make sure that they're being addressed. You can see here, this was last year's kind of a chart of things that we got. The main glaring thing you'll see on there is the issue that I think every school district in the state and the nation is battling with, and it's vaping was the main concern. But it ranges from Sally pulled my hair to I heard someone might have a weapon on campus. And so we take every one of them seriously. We try to respond to them all and make sure that it's handled. But that's just kind of what we do on a day-to-day basis to see how often that the kids are using this reporting mechanism. So we encourage them to let us know. The other thing I want to highlight, this is kind of for kids and staff, but it's a staff system, but it allows the students to feel safe as well, is we recently introduced our crisis alert badges that are across the whole district. So every staff member in the district has been or will be issued an alert badge to where they can let someone know that they need help at any time of the day. So it's a wearable badge. It's got two different kinds of alerts. They can let us know if it's I just need help, I'm having a medical emergency, I'm walking in the parking lot and I slipped and fell and I can't get to my phone. They can hit their badge. Someone's going to come help them. It could be a fight or a potential fight that's about to happen. A staff member can hit their badge. Administrators are going to come respond to them immediately. The bigger alert, if they hit it multiple times, could be a lockdown alert. So if they actually saw someone with a weapon that was a threat to the campus, they can continuously hit their button. It's going to alert the entire campus of the potential threat so they can take the appropriate measures that they've been trained on to mitigate any kind of damage from that. So these are the kind of things that make up the system. Before, when we had a system, you might have a phone app that would make a alert sound for you, but doesn't give you much information. This one is integrated throughout the whole building with visual cues. So for our deaf ed population, they can actually see the beacons that are flashing. The instructions pop up on all of the teachers' devices to tell them, hey, this is the situation that you're encountering. Here's instructions in case you're panicked on what you need to do next. It also provides a map of who hit the notification, exactly where they are, so that way first responders are coming, they know exactly where the person is that said there was a problem. It also integrates with our intercom PA system on the campus, so it announces if it's a lockdown, if it's an evacuation, whatever it is, they set that off, it gives them instructions, so everybody on the campus is getting that alert, not just a select few. And then here is a picture of one of our campuses running a drill the other day and sent me the picture of it, so you can actually see it in practice. You see their screen took over, the audio-visual beacon there is going off, so it's many kudos we've received throughout the district. We have staff members who've already used it, and principals have gotten back to us saying, hey, we responded to this so quickly because this was handy for all of our staff. So this is the first full year that we'll have it, so I'll report back to you at the end of this year. Hopefully we get an improved safety culture across the district because we allowed them to have this. That's it. Any questions?
Thank you so
all.
much.
Yes, ma'am. I don't know how to get this back.
Thank you, sir. Consideration and possible approval of the 2025-2026 Memorandum of the Understanding between the Pasadena Independent School District and Good Reason Houston, with Pasadena ISD contributing $36,000 from Title I funds.
So moved.
Motion by Ms. Sullivan, second by Ms. Gonzalez. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Consideration and possible approval of the Partnership Support Agreement with Communities in School, Southeast Harris County for the 2025-2026 school year and the amount of $320,000 and Pasadena ISD local funds, included in the proposed budget for the 2025-2026 school year, $318,000 in federal funds and $56,000 in contributions from campus budget totaling $694,000.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Kendrick, second by Ms. Sullivan. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Consideration and possible approval of the interlocal agreement between Harris County Department of Education and Pasadena Independent School District in the amount of $360,750.
So moved.
Motion by Ms. Sullivan,
Second.
second by Ms. Gonzalez. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Consideration possible approval of the practicum internship affiliation agreement with the University of Houston Clear Lake in the amount of $39,920 for the three board-certified behavior analysts, BCBA graduate assistants.
So moved.
Motion by Ms. Sullivan, second by Mr. Kendrick. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Consideration and possible approval of the interlocal agreement between Harris County Department of Education and Pasadena Independent School District for music therapy in the amount of $4,160.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Ms. Sullivan, second by Ms. Gonzalez. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Consideration and possible approval of the interlocal agreement between Pasadena Independent School District and Stephen F. Austin State University for the internship and externship with no financial implications.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Kendrick, second by Ms. Sullivan. All in favor? I'm sorry, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Consideration possible approval of the Avance Parent and Child Education Program for the 2025-2026 school year in the amount of $48,000.
So moved.
Motion by Ms. Sullivan,
Second.
second by Mr. Kendrick. Any discussion? Did I say that right?
Got really close. Avance.
Avance, okay.
We practice.
Yeah, well, we did. I thought it was French. They said it might be Spanish. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Consideration and possible approval of the Avante Avant Language Proficiency Assessment for use as language other than English, LOTE, credit by examination CBE assessment.
Second.
Motion by Ms. Gonzalez, second by Ms. Sullivan. Any discussion?
Dr. Lopez, how many students do we have that fit into this particular program?
I will ask, you can ask a specific question probably to Dr. Harrell or Mr. Puente, but I would say in the hundreds. So, Mr. Puente, would you like to come up to the microphone and let us know how many? It's a lot of kids. Lots of kids take this opportunity.
Several hundred per year, and of those several hundred, a very high percent of them actually earn 2 load credits, which meets their graduation requirement in the state of Texas by taking this exam. Our district actually awards up to 3 credits, and so we have some really high achieving students. We're really proud of their performance on this exam.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That also allows to free up their schedule a little bit to take some other courses that we may offer so that they're not having to take that languages other than English.
Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Consideration and possible approval of the 2025-2026 Texas Education for Homeless Children and Youth Continuation Grant Award in the amount of $66,489.
So moved.
Motion by Ms. Sullivan, second by Ms. Gonzalez. Any discussion?
Yes, ma'am.
Ms. Sullivan?
And this is a large number of students in our district.
It is a large number. We can verify with Ms. Rita here, but anywhere from 600 to 1,000 students. Is that, go to the microphone if you will. And the numbers fluctuate, of course. It's never a static number. It's always in fluctuation.
Correct. Our average yearly identified homeless students is about in the 800s. As of now, we have 160 identified, but that's just the beginning, and we're only focusing on the new enrollees, not even the current students overall.
And what qualifies a student to be homeless?
There's different categories that qualifies a student to be homeless. Doubled up is basically living with somebody else, family member, friends, and we also have hotel and motels, and actually that's one of the biggest increased numbers that we've been identifying students. That's about 30% of the students that are identified, 30%, and also shelters. As we all know, we have 2 shelters in the district, Sarah's House and also the Bridge. And inadequate means like when they're living in a car. We actually do have some students identified in that situation. And that's about it. Mm-hmm. The different sections.
As you can see, we definitely have the needs for these services.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you.
Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Consideration possible approval of the 10 middle schools to travel to the Hobby Center to watch fine arts performance starting September 24, 2025 through January 21st, 2026.
Second.
Any discussion?
So board members, I'd like you to know we have one of our middle schools that will be going at a later date. So we will be coming back to you when they get their date scheduled. And so just want to make you aware that we have one that we will do at a later date.
And this is a wonderful opportunity for our students.
It certainly is. We're very proud to be able to offer this, and kudos to Gabriel and Michael back there for arranging it for our students. It's an outstanding opportunity.
Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Consideration possible approval for the J. Frank Dobie High School Choir and Band students to travel to Orlando, Florida to perform and participate in a clinic from March 3rd through the 8th, 2026.
So moved. Second.
Motion by Ms. Sullivan, second by Mr. Kendrick. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Congratulations. Consideration possible approval for the Pasadena Memorial Choir students to travel and participate in classes and workshop in New York City, April 23rd through April 26th, 2026.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Kendrick, second by Ms. Sullivan. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Congratulations. We now move to our policy section. Consideration possible approval, consideration and possible revision of the EFB local instructional resources library materials.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Kendrick, second by Ms. Sullivan. Any discussion?
Ms. Sandra, you did a great job of presenting that to us earlier. Thank you very much.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. This now moves us to our financial section. Consideration and possible approval of the budget amendments for 2025, July 2025.
So moved.
Motion by Ms. Sullivan, second by Ms. Gonzalez. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Consideration possible approval of the salary book for 2025-2026 school year.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Ms. Sullivan, second by Ms. Gonzalez. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Consideration and possible approval for the professional service for independent auditor services with Whitley Penn LLP.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Kendrick, second by Ms. Sullivan. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. This now leads us to our operations section. Consideration possible approval of the material testing services agreement with Terracon Consultant, Inc. for the 2022 Bond New Williams Elementary School Replacement Project in the amount of $120,205.
So moved.
Motion by Ms. Sullivan, second by Ms. Gonzalez. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Consideration possible approval of the allowance expenditure authorization, AEA, number 21, for the 2022 Bond New Parks Elementary School Replacement Project in the credit amount of $8,549.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Kendrick, second by Ms. Sullivan. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Consideration possible approval of the allowance expenditure authorization, AEA, number 22, for the 2022 Bond New Parks Elementary School Replacement Project in the credit amount of $22,335.
So moved.
Motion by Ms. Sullivan, second by Ms. Gonzalez. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Consideration and possible approval of the allowance expenditure authorization, AEA number 23, for the 2022 Bond New Parks Elementary School Replacement Project in the amount of $32,234.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Ms. Sullivan, second by Ms. Gonzalez. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Consideration possible approval of the final change order number 001 for the 2022 Bond HVAC Replacement Group 1 Package 3 project in the credit amount of $216,499.76.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Kendrick, second by Ms. Sullivan. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Consideration possible approval of the allowance expenditure authorization, AEA number A-059 for the 2017 Bond Transportation Center Replacement Project in the amount of $43,476.
So moved.
Motion by Ms. Sullivan. Second by Mr. Kendrick. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Construction update for information only. Miscellaneous section. We have a consideration and possible approval for the J. Frank Dobie High School Media Room to be named in honor of Jerry Spear.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Kendrick, second by Ms. Sullivan.
So, board members, I would like to make you aware that Mr. Spears' family is here with us, and we're so grateful that you're here. It's his daughter, Rebecca, and his daughter, Mary, and then his son-in-law, Brian. So thank you guys for being here, and we are so glad that we can honor your dad in this way. Mhm. I know Mr. Fernandez here is going to read a little bit about your dad.
Let me give just a background. Jerry Ross Spear, known as Coach, taught and coached football at Pasadena High School from 1977 to 1981. In 1982, Jerry became, I have a hard time calling him Jerry, he was my principal. Mr. Spear became an assistant principal at J. Frank Dobie High School, a position he would hold for 4 years. Mr. Spear served as principal of Dobie High School from 1986 to 2000, leading the school with dedication and vision. During his 14 years, he fostered a culture of academic excellence, athletic success, thank you, had nothing to do with me, and strong community pride. Under his leadership, Dobie High School achieved multiple state and national championships, including academic decathlon state titles in 91-92, 95-96, and 96-97, as well as national championship in 1991-1992, which is when I went to school there, but I had nothing to do with that. And in 95-96. The school softball team won state and state championship in 1993, which was the inaugural championship for softball, 1995 and 1997, and the Latin Junior Classical League team secured state titles in 1995 and 1997. Beyond these achievements, Mr. Spear was a mentor and a role model for many educators, guiding them towards leadership roles within Pasadena Independent School District and beyond. He had a unique ability to inspire and empower others, promoting integrity and compassion and leadership. After retiring as principal, Mr. Spear continued serving the community as a member and president of the Pasadena Independent School District. He served his country and the armed forces, demonstrating lifelong commitment in public service. Mr. Spear worked closely with community leaders, Emery Gadd, Marie Flickinger, and a host of others. He prioritized creating a safe, supportive environment for students and staff, standing firmly behind teachers and supporting all student activities, from athletics to fine arts to vocational programs. Through his leadership, he instilled lasting Dobie pride in generations of students and staff. Mr. Spears, and I wanted to read this. I wanted y'all to get the background of it, but I have the honor to hold his position as not only board president, but my position as a position that he once held, which is position 7. I did and had the honor to have him as my principal, and I don't know if the family knows this, but he actually made a national syndicated TV show my senior year, and that was a program called Scratch, and I only know that because I was on that program as well. I don't know if y'all know that, but we haven't voted yet, but Ms. Sullivan, did you have any other discussion?
Yes, I had the honor of serving on the board with Jerry, and I will tell you, when we would go on trips, educational trips, he would just keep us in stitches. He had something going all the time. And congrats to your mother, because she would pat him, when she felt like that he had said enough. And when you talk about sacrifice, Jerry wasn't defeated on the ballot in his board position. Jerry gave up his position on the board so that one of his daughters could become a nurse at one of our intermediate schools. And that's how Kenny then ran for the position and got it. And it was just such an honor to be able to serve with him, and he did serve our district well. Thank you very much for lending him to us.
Yes.
I have a few words to say.
Absolutely.
Well, I served with Jerry for several years, and you all know Jerry. we would go on these conventions out of town, and Jerry would disappear. And we always figured where he was, and there was a coach that was a very good friend of his, and I can't remember his name right now, in Dallas area. And so what Jerry and this guy would do was go play golf. And he always had made a comment about, since he was kind of a scoundrel anyway, that he was claiming that when Mary Carr went to heaven, he's going to be hanging on to her coattails. And I think that's probably true, but he was a great man, a great leader. When he first got on the board, coming from a principal and an employee to the board, he went off to a week's training that was given years ago that really emphasized, he had to do homework and all this sort of stuff to really emphasize what a school board member's responsibility was and was not. And he came back with a full understanding of what his job was, and he did it well. He was a forthright guy, and you knew how he felt about everything. And we miss him. And I want you to tell your mother how much we appreciate her as his backbone and his anchor. And we're very proud for Jerry and the family.
Okay, let's make this official. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Public comment according to BED Local. There are no public comments at this time. We set the next regular meeting on Tuesday, September 23rd, 2025. Motion by Ms. Gonzalez.
Second.
Second by Ms. Sullivan. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. And there are no further business to conduct at this time. We stand adjourned at 7:40 p.m.